Hi, I'm Dr. Alicia Rosicki with Arose E-Therapy, and I wanted to talk about my latest blog post, Lift Your Mood with Meaningful Activities. In this blog post, I also feature Colorado Springs and use the springs as an example for how you can apply what's called behavioral activation, a semi-fancy word from cognitive behavioral therapy that talks about using activities, doing fun things to boost your mood. Now, I know that sounds like a duh, but let me tell you, in my practice, when I have people come in who are struggling with depression or a low mood or just aren't feeling quite themselves, I ask them, what are you doing for fun? What are you doing in your free time? What are your hobbies? And most of the time people say, I don't have hobbies, or I just don't feel like doing anything. I haven't done any of my hobbies in months and months. And so no wonder they feel down and depressed. They're not doing anything that makes them feel happy, lose a sense of time and get in flow. They don't feel a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. And, this is what life is about. It's about enjoying all these experiences. Now, you don't have to go out and do everything under the sun. A little throwback, if anyone remembers the Brady Bunch episode where it was Marcia, where Marcia went to school and signed up for every single possible extracurricular activity there was and got overwhelmed. So we're not saying that. We're not saying go do anything and everything. There is a strategy to this. So with behavioral activation, I've kind of broken it down into 5 easy steps. So step 1 is to think about you. What are your values? What are your goals maybe? So you're going to want to use that to guide you because again, you don't want to just do any and every activity under the sun. We want to have it be more focused. So think about your personal values and goals. What are the things that you appreciate in this world? Are you a creative? Do you like arts, music, sports, social activities, socializing, giving back to the community, volunteering? Are there certain causes? Are you a pet lover? Do you like to travel? Do you like solitary activities? Do you like group activities? Do you like things that are along spiritual lines? Do you like, food? Are you a foodie? That's another area, what's important to you in this world? So it could be based on values, like big categories. It could be based on goals. Maybe you have a goal that you're like, man, I really want to get out there. I just have this dream to do a 5K, So think about that. And then step 2 is start small. Break things down into baby steps. So if you're struggling, you're depressed, you're laying on the couch, the depression's going to tell you you don't want to get up, you don't want to go do anything. So you're not going to just go full speed ahead and all of a sudden be running marathons. You have to break things down into baby steps. So let's say you choose the value of creativity in the form of music. Maybe you want to learn a new song on the guitar. Well, you're not going to just go and start playing 5 hours a day starting then. No, you're going to maybe first choose the song. That would be a good baby step to start with. Maybe it's choosing an artist you admire and, whose songs you want to learn. So start small. Step 3, create a schedule. And like I've been saying, create a schedule that makes sense. If you're doing nothing to set yourself up and say, I'm going to do, strength training every single day for 2 hours a day in the morning and at night and develop this, Arnold Schwarzenegger strength training schedule. Well, you're not going to keep that. That's too lofty. It doesn't make sense. And you're not going to make the goal and then you're going to give up and feel down on yourself and feel worse. So we don't want that. Start small. Start with a realistic goal, but a goal that's a little bit of a challenge. You can't make it too easy. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like you've accomplished anything. So maybe make a commitment. I'm going to focus on this activity for 30 minutes, 2 days a week. I think that's a great place to start. Four, monitor your mood. How are you feeling now? How do you feel leading up to the activity? How do you feel during the activity? How do you feel after? Are you noticing that change over time? Pay attention to how you're feeling and see if you can monitor your own progress. And step 5 is to adjust and expand. Maybe you find as you're setting out to do your activity that you thought you were gonna wake up early and do it, but you know what? It's just too hard to wake up early. Instead, it seems like a better time might be after dinner. So modify, that's okay. Adjust and expand. So maybe you've kept the routine of 30 minutes twice a week for a month straight. Well, then maybe you can build on that. Make it 3 days a week, or make it 45 minutes twice a week. Just keep growing little by little in increments. So, I talked about this in maybe a general way with a few examples, and then I said I honed in on Colorado Springs. I used to live in the Springs. It's a beautiful part of the country. My practice was born there. I still provide services back to Colorado Springs and the whole state of Colorado, along with Florida, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. But the Springs is a great place to be if you live there. This blog post features tips on things you can do right there in the Springs. And if you've never been to the Springs, this may entice you to make it a vacation spot. There's just so much to see, so much to do, and it's just so unique. There's just beautiful, amazing landscape and things you can't find anywhere else on the planet. So, for instance, I talk about walking and hiking opportunities there, and there are some breathtaking places to do that in the Springs. Garden of the Gods, of course. If you haven't heard about it, go give it a YouTube, take a peek. It's worth a Google. It's just incredible, those rock formations, and there's great hiking trails all through there. I forgot to mention in the blog, there's also one day a month where they close Garden of the Gods to street traffic, and you can just bike there for limited hours in the morning. But it's such a great opportunity to bike without car fumes on the streets, and of course you could do trail rides all the time. But there's hiking, there's cultural events in any location, so you can apply this to where you live, even if you're not in the Springs. But look for those culture events, look for parades or community events your community is known for. And, get involved. Those things maybe only come around once a year, so take advantage. If you miss it, you've got to wait a whole year, so hopefully that inspires you to get up off the couch and do things. I highlight other natural wonders like Pikes Peak. That's pretty special there in the Springs. But again, maybe where you live, there are hiking, biking, walking trails, other, beautiful national parks or local parks that you can get out and enjoy. I also have to highlight dog parks, being a dog lover and owner. So that may be another way for you to get out and get into some good behaviors to stimulate your mood. Art classes, I talk about that specifically in the Springs, but of course in your local community you can find that. Yoga's everywhere. So I talk about ways to do that in the Springs. Let's see, there's special things in the Springs too, like the Glen Eyrie Castle. So we have a castle in the US, and that's pretty cool. And you can have tea time at the castle. So that's kind of a fun thing. The Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, there's a zoo built into the side of a mountain, which is amazing in and of itself, but you've got these fantastic views looking out over the Springs. They do cool things like, have nice lights up at the holiday time, so you can go at night and check out the zoo with all the lights. Unique shopping experiences in Manitou Springs, definitely. And again, you could probably have this where you live. Maybe there are nice little boutiques or, antique shops, secondhand stores that can be fun to explore and just check out. You don't have to buy anything. You can just look and have a good time doing it. Local sports, the Springs, well, it's a hub for Olympic training, so there's that. And we have the Olympic and Paralympic Museum, but, Rocky Mountain vibes. They have baseball games that are kind of cool to attend, the switchbacks for soccer. So you may have, regional baseball and soccer and other sports near you. So these are just ideas to get you started. There's so many hobbies and interests out there. So when people tell me, I don't have any, I don't know what it would be. I said, you probably do, actually. If you think back to childhood, there are probably things you enjoyed in childhood that you'd still like today. You just haven't touched it in a long time, or you need to find a way to reinvigorate it or make it like the adult version. So maybe you liked coloring as a kid. Maybe now you do something like a paint and sip night, or put on a YouTube video where they're doing a tutorial of an art technique and you try it out at home. There's ways to modify that in your life today. So this is just to get you started. This is the fun part of therapy, is, doing activities and getting engaged in things that are just fun and get you kind of excited for life again. So, brainstorm your own ideas. If you like what I'm talking about here and other videos, feel free to like and subscribe. You can check out my website. There's more information there about my practice. And again, I do offer therapy to Colorado, Florida, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. And I offer free 15-minute consultations, so you can talk with me and see if I am a good fit for working with you. We can see if that's something that would make sense. Please feel free to reach out and schedule that through any of the booking tools on my website. But I wish you all the best and have lots of fun as you apply this strategy of behavioral activation.